Hey guys, it is Laura from Team Callahan here for Coffee Talk every Thursday at 10 a.m. on Facebook Live. And special guest today, the man himself, Don Callahan's here.
Hey everybody, welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. So people are starting to kick on, and honestly today we are just doing kind of a real estate update. So we do these coffee talks every Thursday, so once a week you can tune in and watch us. And then today, Don, I really just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on really what's happening in the real estate world. So tell us, I mean, are things selling?
Yeah, 10 weeks ago it was, I wouldn't have expected that I'd be saying this, but yeah, it's actually a really vibrant market. Mm-hmm. We've had to make a lot of adjustments.
Sure.
Clearly and obviously, nobody has ever been through anything like this before.
Fair
so
point.
There's so much that's new,
Yeah.
but we were quick to make adjustments. I feel really fortunate that we have Jordan as our coach,
Mm-hmm.
and we're in some mastermind groups of some real big thinkers around the country that helped us and introduced us to some marketing stuff that allowed us to be in the forefront of buyers' minds, because lo and behold, people continue to and still need to move.
Yeah,
so the buyers are out.
We've seen a lot of buyers and sellers for whatever reason that need to make a move, and also ones that are just taking advantage of the market that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me. I know we put a lot of homes in the market back in April, and I believe the number we had was 15 homes that we put as a team on the market in April, and I believe 10 of those went under contract that same month.
Correct.
I mean, it's would you say it's a spring market?
It is. Just this morning, we were on our Zoom call with the entire team, and I was just talking about how thrilled and excited I am that everybody that works here at Team Callahan has stepped up to the plate, and we've. I think that we are probably just a little bit shy of what our expectation was for the spring.
Yeah, it's cranking right along. Yeah. So, Don, if I am someone in the area that's considering selling, would you say that now is the right time to sell my house? And if so, what are some things that you're kind of putting into place to just take into consideration health and safety for everyone?
Well, the health and safety thing I'll answer second, because I think that there's a conversation around if now's the right time. Mm-hmm. And again, the reminder that I've neither been through this, nobody's been through this, so I don't know exactly how things are going to unfold. However, it's quite likely, with unemployment at an all-time high, with the stock market and the turmoil there, and so much uncertainty economically, that it's going to affect buyer confidence and for that matter, seller confidence, the ability for people to move. And I think ultimately it is going to have an impact on value at some point.
But no one has their magic ball out, their magic 8 ball out.
I really don't know. I've heard a lot of different opinions on how soon it'll happen, how long it might take. But what we do know is that right now there's very little inventory. There's not a lot of property on the market. There are a lot of buyers out there, and that simply that supply and demand factor, the market's quite vibrant. So for sellers, I have really been encouraging people to take advantage of that.
Sure.
August tends to be in Savannah a slow month. August is one of our slower months.
Typically because it's ridiculously hot. And two, I think it's more of, kids are going back to school. We're trying to get everyone settled and whatnot. So.
Well, we don't really know what this summer and this August is going to be like. I suspect it's going to be impacted. I think it could be very different than the norm, because there have been a bottleneck of buyers and sellers that have been in a holding pattern since mid-March or whenever it happened to have been. And, we're sitting here the end of May.
Right. But at the same time, so I think just to kind of pull this back into perspective, are there a lot of unknowns in our world today? Absolutely. Are there a lot of things that we've never been through before? Absolutely. And yet, from a real estate perspective, buyers are still showing up because we've got extremely low interest rates.
Exactly. Sellers
are still showing up because it's a competitive market, right? And so honestly, it's kind of it sounds like it's a bit of a win-win situation for both buyers and sellers, which typically speaking, we don't really have markets like that.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. So, the interest rate has a really dramatic impact. If you think about where the rate is now, ultimately a buyer is able to buy so much more house than they would have been able to buy this time last year, and likely this time next year. So, that's a really big factor. But, you asked about, and I think I'll move into a little bit of how we're navigating it, how we're getting buyers and sellers together.
Yeah, we've actually created some brand new strategies that we're super excited about. I mean, things that honestly we probably would never have gotten to this place this quickly had this kind of pandemic or whatnot happened. And so there's definitely things that we've pivoted our strategies that we're going to keep going like forever. Like that's just a great thing. We should just continue to do it. A lot of that has to do with leveraging technology to help us buy and sell homes. So what are some of the things that we're doing as a team, specifically for our sellers?
Well, we implemented, and Laura and Caitlin were out for, I don't know, maybe 4 days from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m.
It was a long time.
Filming, but we implemented virtual walkthroughs, we call them, kind of behind the scenes videos. And when an agent or a buyer had any questions or interest in a listing of ours, we started by sharing that information so they could have a little bit more of a casual look at the house, a brief walkthrough, especially the front of the house, if you will, followed by a second video which had the side yard and maybe the closet and laundry
details,
room.
things that you would look at when you were at the home.
Right. Yeah, we don't usually feature those laundry rooms in our fancy marketing.
Yeah.
So we even went to that length, or you went to that length and did videos of all the different components of the house so that the buyer was able to focus on the houses that fit them best, eliminate those houses that didn't suit them so they didn't have to unnecessarily be in other people's space.
I mean, really, it's an efficiency thing also.
Absolutely.
A buyer is able to essentially preview multiple properties, let's say in an hour, because they're watching the digital tours, eliminating, yes, that looks good, no, that doesn't. So when it comes down to the couple of houses they do want to see in person, it's 1, 2, maybe 3.
Right.
And for us, on a seller perspective, they know that the people that are physically coming into their home, they've already seen the photos, they've already stalked it online, they've already seen the digital tour, and they liked what they saw enough that they want to come see it in person. So it's really a win-win. We're saving everyone time, and we're making sure that those people that are coming into their home are really motivated and truly want to see it, which is, I think it's a great plan.
Yeah. I mean, even down to with some sellers that are really sensitive and are electing not to have anybody in their space or to limit it as much as possible. We're even asking for pre-qualifications for people before they go in the house, which is something that does happen more commonly in super vibrant markets like New York City and LA and Vegas. But so it's interesting to have little old Savannah, pre-qualifying people and limiting people's the exposure or actually the ability to take a look at houses.
Yeah, I mean it's really been interesting some of the strategies, and of course we're doing some stuff with other safety and health protocols as far as just being smart, don't touch things, here's some hand sanitizer, that kind of deal. But all in all, I want to say like our team and the industry, we've pivoted pretty well to figure out how to do this in this kind of a new age. And there's a lot of strategies, like we said before, that we're just going to keep them. We're hosting virtual open houses instead of doing physical open houses, which has been great. So our clients and the public can view property at a time that's convenient for them and not having to show up at a specific day and time on a weekend. We're taking into consideration everyone's schedule. So it's really, there's been some silver linings in the middle of all of this.
Yeah. Worth mentioning, and I won't go too deep into it, but we are also taking precautionary measures to be sure that we're protecting everybody. And when a showing does happen, we prepare it by the seller turning all the lights on in the house, opening up all of the doors, interior doors other than closets.
Minimizing things that people would touch.
That's right. Yeah. And then we ask that when people show up, depending on who it is and which house, if they're vacant, it can be a little bit easier. But masks, gloves, we even have booties for sellers that don't want people traipsing through the house. And we encourage them just to walk through, especially on that first visit. If it is a candidate and they want to go back a second time, we'll make it a little less attractive by opening up all the closet doors and
Not a great
things like
first
that.
impression. Be like, here's all the closets. Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever it takes
takes.
to make sure everybody's comfortable. I mean, we're dealing
Absolutely.
with not one but several women that are pregnant that are super cautious around
Sure.
who they're around, and I don't blame them.
Well, and that's I think the great thing about this industry is that we are learning how to be flexible, and so really take it into consideration what matters to you as a client, whether you're a buyer or a seller, and having the necessary tools and equipment there to make sure that we can accommodate that, so we can ultimately do our responsibility, our fiduciary duty, and help you buy or sell. I mean, that's obviously why you've hired a real estate agent. And so there's a lot of interesting things that have come from this, and so Coffee Talk has been one of them, right? So here we are. Anything else that you would like to say about kind of the current real estate market here in Savannah?
I feel like it's necessary that especially sellers really consider being ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
As the public is more confident going out, I believe that we're going to see a dramatic increase in the amount of houses on the market.
Well, we've already seen that, right? We're studying these, we call them market stats, right? How many homes come on the market, go under contract, and sell every single day and every single week. And we're noticing these trends. Consumer confidence is out there, which is great. We've seen an uptick in the number of homes going under contract. So a buyer has found a home they love and put it under contract. And now, I'd say in the last, 2 weeks?
About 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks, we've started to see an uptick of new listings on the market, which tell us there's now more competition if you're a seller, right? Instead of you being one of the only houses in the market, you've got a couple of friends that also put their houses in the market.
Yeah.
So definitely take advantage of this if you're considering selling. We'd love the opportunity to chat with you and just go into detail on what that market looks like, especially from a housing perspective, a pricing perspective, strategies, all that kind of deal, right? Yeah. Any other thoughts before we let the lovely people go for the day?
Wash your hands.
True
Be
that.
careful around everybody, even the people you love.
Yeah.
And love everyone. Just
Be kind.
be kind.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, we are here, so please holler at us if there's anything that we can do to help you with real estate or anything here in Savannah. That's our goal, is to always be sure that we're giving back to our community. And we will be here next Thursday at 10 a.m. For another edition of Coffee Talk. Stay tuned for our special guests. We'll put a little teaser out there next week so that you know who that is. And in the meantime, have a good one, guys.
Ciao.
Bye.